Hello everyone, it is Lori Hoy here. How are you today? I am doing well. It is Friday, and you know what that means. I had talked to you a couple weeks ago about doing a little series on different food tips that I want to give you that I've learned over the last 3 years of my health and wellness journey. And I apologize if this lighting is not the best, but we'll go with it, right? And so the first time I talked about carrageenan, today I'm going to talk a little bit about soy. And what I want to preface this whole conversation about is this. I am here to offer you information. What you do with it is your choice. You can do further research, which I always recommend, but I just want you to know what's out there. And as in anything that we do, you can get online and you can find conflicting information about a particular food or a particular product, or, it could be a make of a car, whatever. But what I want to do through this food tip, what I want to do is to give you some things to think about, okay, in your own life and in your own health. And that's always my purpose, is to give you that information and you can take with it and run with it. Now, with all that being said, I also want to mention that every body is different, right? Every body is different. We don't all have the same genes. We don't all react to foods the same way. But if you are someone that's experiencing some of the things that I'm going to talk about today, then maybe this is something you need to further investigate. Okay? Does that make sense? So like I said, I'm not here to throw any ingredient under the bus, but I will explain to you a little bit why I'm choosing not to have it a part of my daily nutrition, okay? So today we're going to talk about soy. And so soy is in a lot of different things. We have, soy sauce. So you think about, I was an avid soy sauce user when I would make my own stir fry, or I would go out and get actual Asian food. It can be in the form of actual soybean oil, edamame, tofu, tempeh, and there's some other weird, strange names of things that they're along the lines of the fermented soy. The first thing I want to say about soy is this. In America, now, let me back up. Soy is used a lot, heavily, in Asian cultures, okay? So, and they've been eating soy for a very, very long time. And if you research or know anything about certain populations of people, our Asian population usually is very healthy based on what they eat, okay? But we also have to remember that the soy that they are eating is not the soy that we are eating here in the United States. The latest information I could find is that 90% of the soy that's produced here in America is GMO, which is genetically modified. Okay? Now, there is not enough research yet to tell us whether consuming genetically modified organisms or foods, GMO foods, has an effect on us long term. There's not enough information yet, okay? But here's what I want to say about that, and this is truly my own opinion. If it's not the way it was supposed to be here, I don't think I want to eat it, all right? And have I always been that way? No. Here I am knocking on the door of the big 5-0, and I've had this little bit of knowledge shared with me, and so I just want to take better care of my body so I can live 50 more years better than I did the first 50, okay? So anyway, getting down into the nitty-gritty, because like I said, you're going to hear all kinds or see all kinds of different conflicting things about soy. You have to make the decision on your own. Part of my purpose here is just to educate you, and like I said, what you do with it is totally up to you, and you are the boss of your body, okay? So one of the things that has been mentioned about soy is that it contains, and I'm going to say this word wrong, I know I am, but that doesn't matter. Isoflavones or something like that. And what that does is it acts like an estrogen in your body. So if you're a woman, who has higher levels of estrogen. That's what makes you a woman. You know, you definitely have estrogen and testosterone, but estrogen makes you, okay? The female parts. It has been, in some cases, okay, remember every body is different, has increased breast cancer. Now, again, does that mean that if you have soy every day that you are going to get breast cancer? Maybe, maybe not. I just want to share this information. But if I know that there is a likelihood of it happening, and I have a history in my family of breast cancer, then, and I think that soy, and I've read and researched that soy is something that can cause increased breast cancer, I'm going to possibly take a look at that deeper and maybe eliminate it from my nutrition, and or just limit it in. And I'm going to try and be aware of how much I consume. Does that make sense? I'm hopeful that it does. The other thing about that it contains are, and I'm going to again get this one wrong, goitrogens. And I have a friend on here. She popped on, and I know that she avoids soy because she has issues with her thyroid. Okay, so if you are someone that has some impaired thyroid function, there has been a link to consuming soy and inhibiting your proper thyroid function. This is a good topic, and why males should not take protein supplements with soy. I try not to consume soy. If you're trying to gain muscle, it defeats the purpose by taking protein. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Josh, for your perspective. I didn't get to the male part of that yet. But yes, soy has been also linked to, it contains phytoestrogens, which is been linked to decreased levels of testosterone in some people. Okay, I'm not blanketing this, in some people. So if you are, say you are a couple that's trying to conceive and you're having some issues and you eat soy a lot, you might want to think about not doing that, because there have been in some people links to that, to infertility. Okay, we have to have the right combination of things to make those things work, right? That makes sense. And so back to my thyroid. So Chris just said yes. What it can do in certain people, and if they have some decreased function of thyroid, is block the iodine absorption, which helps. We need iodine, okay? That doesn't mean you need to go buy the salt that says added iodine. You need to get iodine naturally from the food that you eat. That's my soapbox for the moment, okay? The other thing that's been then noted about soy here in America, okay, is that can contain trace amounts of glyphosate, which is Roundup. And if you don't know what Roundup is, it's weed killer. So again, if you don't want to consume weed killer, don't eat the foods that possibly could contain them, and that's anything that isn't organic. Now, in my research, it did talk about, and I'm talking about things that I read online. I've recommended reading Food What the Heck Should I Eat from Dr. Hyman. He is a functional medicine doctor out of the Cleveland Clinic. He has another clinic on the West Coast, or the East Coast, I'm sorry, I think in the Boston area. And he's done this research too, okay? So I'm sharing knowledge that I've gained from several doctors that I follow, and that they've found in their own practice. But anyway, one of the things that he does mention is fermented foods. Fermented foods are really good for your gut biome and your gut, and to heal your gut. So if you're going to have soy, try to find organic soy. Any product of soy, okay? So soybean, one of the things that I have read consistently is do not, but on any way, shape, or form, consume soybean oil, okay? It is very, very super highly processed, and it has no nutritional value to your body whatsoever, okay? So, and the problem with that is we don't know, like if we go out to eat, we don't know if they cook with soybean oil, or if they fry, which frying, okay, we won't get into that discussion. But that's one of the things, the reasons why I don't go out to eat as often as I used to, is because I can't control what's in my food, all right? And I'm not trying to be all scary, whatever, but it's just something to consider, especially if you are someone that has decreased levels of estrogen or high levels of estrogen or decreased levels of testosterone or thyroid function. I can't even say it now. Your thyroid function is not doing what it's supposed to do, or all these things that I've mentioned. If you're experiencing those things, then stay away from those types of products, okay? So it doesn't exacerbate it. I use coconut aminos. What a great substitute, and they now sell it at Walmart. Yes, coconut aminos is made from cocoa nuts. And I use them too. I love them. And it's a really great substitute for soy sauce if you are someone that loves soy sauce a lot. Now, if you can find an organic soy sauce and you have it on occasion, by all means, do that. But I know what a lot of you are going to say, but organic food is really expensive. Yes, it is. And there's a reason why it is. You also have to understand that not all organic is organic. So, yes, I know what you're thinking. How do we know? You just have to do the research. And this is what I share with people that I talk about nutrition with all the time. Don't take my word for it. Yes, this is what I do on a regular basis. I love learning about it. I love sharing it. You don't have to take my word for it. Do your own research. Go follow the people that aren't backed by the soybean industry. Okay, go listen to Dr. Hyman or Dr. Mercola or Jason Fung and all these doctors that aren't being paid by the big food companies. Okay, do a little bit of research on your own and then make your own informed decision like anything else. Also, if you're taking in BCAAs, try to take companies who have fermented bacteria grown. Unfortunately, people who buy BCAAs are normally extracted from duck feathers, human nails. Oh! This is such a good topic. I feel like most don't do their own research. It's awesome to see someone else who does their own research. Yes, I do. Unfortunately, the FDA does not manage our... Yes. So, if it says FDA approved, guess what, guys? FDA is paid by those companies too. And yes, I know it sounds like a whole conspiracy theory. Follow the money. Follow the money. That's all I'm going to say. I like to do research. I never used to. It's just a newfound thing. I do love to learn more about nutrition. And the reason why I'm saying it to you is this. There's many reasons why. One of the reasons why is because I've had family members die from cancer and horrible diseases. Okay? And we know now what causes some of those things. So I want to help people avoid that. To have the best life that they can possibly have. What about actual edamame? Organic. Edamame is the soy, the baby, is it like the baby soybean, okay? If you're going to eat edamame, find organic. And the problem with it is, that they're saying is that can be trace amounts of glyphosate, which is Roundup. And that's any of our food, guys. I hate to break it to you. Any of our food that has been in our soils for years and years and years, when Roundup, glyphosate's been used and it's still being used and still being out there and processed, it gets into our food source because it's in the soil. And it takes years and years and years and years and years for that to get cleaned out. The earth will do it eventually, but if we just stop using it, it will take less time, right? So don't go buy Roundup. There are natural ways. You have to think of a weed in a different way, in my opinion, okay? It's how you perceive that weed, because there are some beautiful weeds out there. So Christy, if you're going to use edamame, the recommendation is, from what I've read, is organic. And it's going to cost a little bit more. And I've had them. I like roasted in the oven with a little bit of sea salt. They're really good. But if it's a snack that you like, it is a good protein source. But if you eat it all the time, it's not good for you. Just like eating, eating nuts, which are good for you, a healthy fat. But if you overeat them and you eat them all the time, can cause a lot of different ailments. Soybeans are also legumes. which contribute to inflammation in your body. And constant inflammation in your body causes disease. Dis-ease. All right? I don't know if I have anything else to share, guys. I mean, that's just a tip of the iceberg. But if you are someone like, and here's the other thing, and this is what I look at, and I share this with everybody. So how do you know? So maybe you say, okay, I only have soy sauce once a month. Okay, fine. But look at other foods that you buy. If you buy foods that have soy lecithin in them, which is a thickener, which is usually like almond milks, all those milks that if you're someone that has a dairy intolerance like I do, and you try to find something that's an alternative to cow's milk, and you go to buy almond milk or coconut milk or rice milk, which is a whole other story, look at the ingredients. They're going to be putting ingredients to make it look and feel like cow's milk. And that's thickeners. They're thickening agents, okay? Soy lecithin is the same thing. It's a byproduct of soy. It's going to do the same thing. So maybe you only have soy sauce on your stir fry once a month, but you're drinking almond milk every day with soy lecithin in it. And so you're still getting that overabundance of soy that may not be organic, okay? So that's the point in looking and reading the ingredients, not the nutrition facts, but the actual ingredients in your food, the recipe, what they put in it. The other thing I try to stay away from is any gum, like guar gum. There's all kinds of gums, and what the gums do is make it thicker. Okay, there's research behind that, but I want to stick with soy today. Okay, so if you want to try, and I know there are a lot of you out there that I've messaged and have invited you to let me help you in your health and fitness journey. This is what I share with the people in my group. Things like this. Read your nutrition labels, not the facts. The ingredient on every product you put in your food, in your body. And if you don't know what it is, then read about it. And if it causes XYZ and you're okay with that, then you can still consume it. I'm not going to come to your house and knock down your door, or you're not going to get arrested for having soy sauce. But my point is, if you are trying to become healthier, or maybe you're suffering from some kind of disorder of some kind, and your doctor can't figure it out, or maybe you have an autoimmune disorder, then I'm going to tell you this 1,000 times. Start looking at the food that you put in your body, because you have to eat, right, to survive. You have to. And if you're eating foods that are having things in them that are causing your illness, you need to stop eating them, even though they might be your ultimate favorite food. There are even healthy foods that we eat that can cause problems, okay? So I want you to think about, all right? Okay, Josh says, if you have been educated on something here and it should spark your interest into self-education, meaning read and do your own research, don't take anyone's word for things, read studies and come up with your own thought on certain subjects. It's your body and yours only. Great topics, Lori. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. And I would love to sit down with you and talk more about it, because I know Josh is, he's a guy that really enjoys living his best life and creating the most healthy, strong body he can possibly do it. And in order to do that, you have to eat the right foods. And so, guys and ladies out there, just do your research. Like he said, don't take my word for it. Yes, it's something that I do and I love and I'm passionate about, but do your own research, because you might be going and think, what do you know, Lori? You're right. Do that. Be, Be skeptical. Be skeptical of everything. I want you to be skeptical. I want you to do your research, because not everybody out there is honest about what they share with you, especially the big food companies, because 99% of them just want to make a buck. And then they're going to be hooked up with a big pharma company that's going to sell you the drug to cure it, and it doesn't cure it, okay? All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. If you have any other particular topics that you would like me to talk about on Food Tip Friday, and I do apologize that I wasn't here last Friday, but I was traveling and there was absolutely zero time for me I was traveling far, and there was really no time to do that live broadcast when I was traveling. So if you have any topics that you're curious about food, I want to do this every Friday, Food Tip Friday, give you some information, especially about ingredients that you might want to avoid. Let me know. Either you can drop it in the comments or you can private message me, and I will be glad to do that research for you and share. If you also are someone that just needs some extra support and help with your fitness or your nutrition, please reach out. I have so many tools to help you, but you just have to be the person willing to make that decision and reach out to, and again, doesn't have to be me, but if you've been stuck and you're at that plateau, I would love to help you get over that. All right. Have a great Friday, guys, and I'll see you soon.